every few years, a projector comes along that truly moves the needle for home theater. Barco's new Heimdall family is one of those rare moments. Built on Barco's Pulse platform, these native 4K RGB laser DLP projectors bring true commercial cinema technology into private theaters, combining the company's decades of professional imaging expertise with performance that redefines what's possible at this price point. Now, Barco has long been a global leader in digital cinema projection, command and control visualization, and medical displays where accuracy is everything. And that same engineering DNA now drives its residential division. Designed and developed in Norway and Belgium, the Heimdall embodies Barco's reputation for precision optics, robust construction, and long-term reliability. What makes the Heimdall especially exciting is how it delivers true large format cinema at home. It's bright enough to light up massive screens up to 16 feet wide without washing out contrast or color. Now, whether you're designing a reference grade theater or a luxury media room, this is the kind of horsepower that finally lets you enjoy HDR and high frame rate content at cinematic scales. Now, the lineup includes 4 models: Heimdall, Heimdall CinemaScope, Heimdall Plus, and Heimdall Plus CinemaScope, each built for different room sizes and screen formats, which we'll explore later on in this video to help you choose the best fit for you. And at Audio Advice, we're proud to offer the Heimdall family because it fills a real-world need that we see every single day. A projector that's bright enough for large screens, quiet enough to live in the room, color-rich enough to take full advantage of HDR content, and fast enough for high frame rate gaming. Now, there simply just aren't many projectors at this price point with a true native 4K chip that can deliver this mix of clarity, color, and control, making the Heimdall a major step forward for anyone building a high-end theater. Now, before getting into the design and performance, it helps to understand where the Heimdall projectors actually sit in the broader projector landscape. Now, there are 3 panel systems that split the image into red, green, and blue on separate devices and then combine them optically. Now, there's also single chip systems that render the full image through one digital micromirror device. On top of that, you also have lamp-based light sources, blue laser phosphor hybrids, and full RGB laser engines. The Heimdall family is in the sweet spot here. They use a single chip, native 4K DLP platform driven by a pure RGB laser light engine. That combination brings the sharp, high ANSI contrast that DLP is known for, plus a wide color gamut and high brightness that many lamp and blue phosphor designs simply cannot reach. It also brings low latency and 4K 120 support through HDMI 2.1, which makes this a great choice for movie lovers who want smooth, high frame rate gaming on a giant screen up to 16 feet wide at 1.0 gain with the Heimdall Plus models. Now, when it comes to the build and the design, these things are built to last. The cabinet measures about 19 inches wide, 22 inches deep, and about 12 inches tall without the lens attached. It weighs in around 68 pounds, which is substantial, but still manageable for ceiling mounts and soffits. The DMDs and optical assembly are sealed to protect against dust, and the overall construction feels extremely solid. Now, when we first booted ours up, we were immediately surprised at just how quiet it was too. Now, we test and measure every single projector that we sell, and we've heard some really quiet ones in the past, but we have to say this one was super impressive. We actually measured a noise level close to 29 dB at full power, which is remarkably quiet for a projector of this scale. Now, big, bright projectors often require hush boxes or separate projection rooms, but the Heimdall gives you flexibility because it's so quiet, you can actually mount it right in your room and not worry about the fan noise. Of course, you can still mount it in a separate projector room, but like with any projector, you'll want to plan for some ventilation. We've installed projectors in all sorts of locations, and we know all the tricks to keep your projector running cool and efficient. So our experts can help you design your room, and if you're having another integrator install it, be sure that they know what they're doing to get proper airflow to your projector. Okay, now let's dive into some more of the technical stuff here. The Heimdall uses a native 4K 0.98 inch DLP chip that renders 4096 by 2176 pixels. The engine behind it is a solid-state RGB laser light source with separate banks of red, green, and blue lasers. Now, this isn't a blue laser shining through a phosphor wheel. It's discrete primaries with precision modulation, which means there is no spinning color wheel that most single-chip DLP projectors rely on. Now, brands like Sony and JVC use liquid crystal on silicon systems that split the image across 3 panels. Now, those can deliver deep blacks and a film-like smoothness, but often trade away a bit of motion, clarity, and contrast. In addition, with the Heimdall, you only need to calibrate it once when you set it up, and you don't have to worry about panel alignment changing over time like with other brands. So in short, the Heimdall gives you the sharpness, the motion clarity, and the punch that DLP is known for without the usual trade-offs of single chip systems, and it brings enough color range and dynamic contrast to confidently stand alongside those best 3-chip home theater projectors that are available today. Now, the light output of the Heimdall Plus is about 6,000 lumens, and the standard Heimdall variants are rated lower at about 4,500 lumens. Now, that level of brightness is a significant factor because light output typically decreases once you add elements like large or acoustically transparent screens, lower gain materials, calibration adjustments, and port glass. HDR also demands more light for proper highlight detail, especially in rooms that aren't completely dark. Well, the Heimdall has the horsepower to handle all of those scenarios while keeping the image punch and the contrast intact. The laser light source is rated at around 25,000 hours as well, giving you years of performance and consistent picture quality without worrying about having to replace anything. Okay, color is another headline feature here. The RGB engine allows coverage of about 98% of Rec 2020 with full support for Rec 709 and DCI-P3. That's a very wide palette for a projector, and during our testing, it was definitely impressive with HDR movies. Every single scene that we watched, we saw very rich reds, we saw saturated greens, and clean blues without color washout at high brightness levels. Plus, skin tones were extremely natural and lifelike, which is another important quality of any type of projector. Now, contrast is handled in multiple different ways here. The optical path includes dual aperture elements designed to reduce stray light and raise native on-off performance compared to older single-chip engines. The 0.98-inch DMD architecture itself has also been tuned for higher native contrast. On top of that, Barco's Dynablack system analyzes each frame and uses ultra-fast laser pulsing to actually deepen dark scenes and lift bright scenes. While different projector technologies approach black level in different ways, Heimdall's mix of brightness, intra-scene contrast, and dynamic laser control creates a very engaging and cinematic image in our experience. Now, processing and control come from Barco's Pulse platform like I mentioned in the beginning. The idea behind the Pulse is a short, efficient signal path with advanced processing that avoids artifacts and keeps latency low. Pulse also provides single-step processing with geometry correction, warping, and blending that we'll talk a little bit more later on. But in our testing, where these really shine and show their cinema DNA is in how they handle that HDR content. Tone mapping is one of the most important parts of HDR playback on a projector because unlike TVs, projectors don't have thousands of nits of peak brightness to throw at the highlights. Well, the trick here is balancing the bright moments that give HDR its magic with the shadow detail and mid-tone texture so scenes stay dimensional and natural to your eyes. Well, Barco's HDR engine paired with the power of a pure RGB laser light source provides the headroom that it needs to preserve highlight sparkle without crushing darker scenes or even washing out the colors. When we were testing, the bright sequences really just felt energetic and punchy, while those moody lower light scenes hold on to the shadow detail instead of turning flat or muddy. Okay, now let's discuss the models in the Heimdall family. Like I said, there are 4 core models: the Heimdall and the Heimdall CinemaScope, and the Heimdall Plus and the Heimdall Plus CinemaScope. Now, the CinemaScope versions are designed for constant image height theaters, letting widescreen movies fill the full width of a 2.35 or 2.4 screen without giving up pixels. With Sony, JVC, or Epson projectors, you're going to need a panamorph anamorphic lens to fill a scope screen and not lose those pixels. But with the Heimdall CinemaScope models, you get that experience natively, which is a really cool benefit for anyone building a true big screen theater where you don't want to lose a single pixel on your screen. If you want to dig deeper into how scope screens work and why anamorphic lenses are used on other projectors, we have a full guide that breaks down the differences in simple terms that I'll link down in the description. Now, to go more into what these CinemaScope projectors are actually capable of in the Heimdall family, I'm going to bring in an expert from Barco to discuss all the things that they can do. Okay, so we're here with Chris Deutsch from Barco Residential. It's going to go a little bit more in depth on this Heimdall Plus CinemaScope we have in front of us. Chris, thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it. If you don't mind, let us know what we got here.
Sure, Harrison. Whenever I hear a client say, that they're considering a CinemaScope screen, I kind of smile because I know we've got the perfect solution. Some people think, oh, it's a different lens or it's a different chip. Actually, the lens and the chip are the same. What changes in the projector is the integrator rod. That is the part of the light engine that focuses and funnels the light onto the particular shape of screen that we're using. And then also we increase the resolution. It's a native 4K chip, but on the CinemaScope models we go to 6K resolution. And then we also change the software. And the software is where a lot of the magic happens.
Yep.
Have you ever watched, like you watch something on Apple TV,
right.
and then you go to the movie, and then you go back to the menu and it seems like it's cut off?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so that menu is in 16:9, right? And the movie, let's say it's in CinemaScope.
Yep.
Well, the Barco is going to recognize that. It doesn't just go to a preset. When your team is setting it up, you can take the customer's, the way they want it into consideration. Like for me, I would want to see that menu in 16:9. Right. I don't want it stretched. I don't want it cut off.
Yep.
That's how I'd like to see it. And then when we go to CinemaScope, I want it to fill the full screen.
Yep.
The beauty with Barco is it recognizes that, and it happens almost instantaneously. You may see that letterbox movie for just a second or two, but then it's going to snap to the full size of the screen. I'm sure you run into customers that say, well, you know what, I want the movie to fill the screen all the time.
Right.
So that's what we call nonlinear stretch.
Yep.
And we have a really nice new nonlinear stretch feature for the first time in the Heimdall. And among the choices, again, this is something that your customer can set this up as they want it, or you can set it up for them. But we have 3 different degrees of nonlinearity. In other words, how much stretch, and is it uniform across the image? Or do we kind of try and keep the center, less stretch in the center and more to the sides? Well, you can pick what you like. You also have a control for like how much do we want to crop.
Okay.
Because the more we crop, the less we have to stretch, right?
Yep.
That can be very, very custom based on the individual and how they're going to use the projector.
Okay, Chris, with all those different features, how do you control all that? Do you go on a little screen on the projector, or what do you got to do to actually change all that? Is it easy, or do you have to call someone up to do it?
Well, so yes, there is a screen on the projector, and in fact, it's a touch screen, so it works a lot like the screens on your phones, but I prefer to use what we call Prospector. Any device that's on the network, it could be a laptop, it could be a tablet, it could even be a phone. I kind of like the bigger screens, like the laptop or the tablet, and use Prospector. You just log on to the IP address, which is displayed on that screen.
Yep.
And then we have a very nice, easy to navigate system where you can tab through and find the feature that you want to adjust and make all the changes.
Very cool. Say I wanted to move this projector off-centered. Do you have features in there as well that I can adjust on that platform?
Yeah, we really pride ourselves on our simulation grade warp engine, and that's sounds like something out of Star Wars and maybe in a way it is, but yes, if I wanted to move this projector into the corner, then I can go into Prospector, and I can go to 4-corner warp, and you have to pick a lens that can cover the full size of the screen.
Right.
But then you can literally move each corner until the geometry is perfect.
Yeah.
In those cases, we recommend a screen that has what they call a Lambertian surface, so very even illumination so that you don't get a hot spot on one side or the other.
Yep.
But with the proper screen, most people will never know that the projector's in the corner and not in the center of the room. You were talking earlier about our Pulse platform.
Right, yep.
You can use that 4-corner warp and it still does not affect your latency with gaming.
Very cool.
So you get outstanding low latency with gaming.
Why would you go with this over something else? What are some 3 uniques about the Heimdall family in general?
Well, I think with the projector, it all comes down to nothing matters more than picture quality. When you look at all the different aspects of picture quality, the Heimdall is probably the most well-balanced projector that I've ever seen. It's got the brightness, it's got the sharpness, it's got the exceptional color, it's got the black level, it's got the contrast. Everything, it's quiet.
Yeah, so quiet.
Yeah, everything that you want in terms of good picture quality and good performance is there. When I look at the other two, two more features that really set Barco apart, the second thing that comes to mind is the fact that we have these unique CinemaScope models. Yep. So you pick a projector based on the screen format that you've chosen. Yep. And again, the experts at Audio Advice can assist with that. Yep. Not just with the projector aspect, whether it's 16:9 or scope, but then also the lenses. Yep. So the interchangeable lenses and the quality of the Barco optics and the sharpness that we can get is truly unique and truly sets us apart, and it allows us to cover just this incredible range of installations.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for showing us and telling us more about the Heimdall family of projectors. We're super excited here at Audio Advice to have this. We've been testing it for a few days. All of our people at Audio Advice, all of our experts, we even had customers come in. They keep saying, you gotta come check out this projector and see it for yourself. So again, just super excited, and thank you for coming in. Thank you for showing it for us. And I'm really excited to see all the different situations and all the different theaters that we have this installed in the future.
Thank you, Harrison. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, now next, lens flexibility is another reason the Heimdall fits so many different theater designs. Barco offers 7 different lenses, from short throw options to long throw to standard sizes for projection booths and rear rooms. Now some of those also use Barco's York adapter for FLDX and FLD Plus lens families, and each lens has its own throw range and shift characteristics that affect the brightness uniformity, geometry, and placement flexibility. Now of course, everything I just went over probably sounds like a lot to sort through, from the lenses to all the technology, which is exactly where we come in. Your projector only performs at its full potential when it's paired with the right optics for your room and the screen size, so our team will work with you to choose the ideal lens and the mounting location. You don't have to turn into a projection engineer to get reference level performance. Our experts handle that with you, so you get a flawless image and a clean installation every single time. Now, our team was testing the Barco Heimdall Plus CinemaScope in our theater on a 186-inch screen, and the first movie that we queued up was Dune Part 2, which is one of our favorites for testing HDR tone mapping, contrast, and just large-scale detail. Right away, the Heimdall's pure RGB laser engine really showed what sets it apart. The desert landscapes really looked radiant and layered, with warm amber tones that never appeared blown out, even under the blinding sun. In the palace interiors, shadows stayed deep and detailed, instead of turning gray, and textures like fabric, armor, and stonework all really came through clearly. The color balance really felt natural and cinematic, and never was artificial or oversaturated. And motion, again, was razor sharp during the sandworm chase sequence, and Barco's Dynablack system kept contrast strong even in fast transitions. Now, across everything we tested, our team was really impressed with the overall image quality, and it felt more like a professional cinema projector than a residential one. Now, if you're planning a dedicated theater or upgrading your projection system, our team can help make the most out of this technology. Feel free to give us a call or chat with us, or even stop by one of our award-winning showrooms. Plus, you can check out our free home theater design tool on our Home Theater Central page at audioadvice.com, where you can map out your room, your screen size, and seating layout, and test different projectors. You can also check out our home theater showcases and massive library of home theater content at audioadvice.com. I'll have it all linked down below. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.